If you want to keep up with the ever-changing lash trends and want to create viral-worthy content, you have stumbled upon the perfect tutorial. Today I'm going to be demoing how to perfect an anime lash set and bottom lash extensions. Let's get into it. Okay, so here are all the products I'm going to use for today's service. I'm going to go through them quickly from side to side to walk you through why these are the essentials for today's set. I'm not going to be talking about things like lint-free applicators, wands, things like that. Those are very basic products that we use for every service, but these are pretty crucial to talk about. First up, Super Bonder. This is traditionally just used after the lash service to cure the glue, lock in fumes, and help with retention. But I use it at the beginning of every service as well. The reason why is because it has curing properties and it also opts as a very gentle primer. So it opens the cuticle and cures the lashes instantly. So you get a really magnetic connection when you use Super Bonder before the service. Particularly important for anime or manga looks like I'm doing today because we need instant grip. We're making points of contact that are so tiny that if we don't have instant grip and cure, it's just not gonna work out. So that is crucial. Next up, Foreplay. Foreplay's standard function is to combat fluctuations in humidity in your lash room. So like, let's say you have a glue that works in a range of 30 to 50% humidity. Well, if you put Foreplay on your lash strip, it's going to combat those fluctuations in humidity if your humidity is all over the place or it's outside of that range. What I actually use it for, especially for looks like today, is putting it on the tips and base of my lash strip. But be careful, just a little bit on the base because it also lifts lashes up from the base, making it easier to pick up. So if you're a handmade fan artist who finds when you pick up your lashes that the base kind of frays and falls apart, then this is going to be a really great product for you. But you don't want to use too much because the lashes will fall off the strip. So a little bit on the base and then quite a bit on the tips of the lashes to create those wet lash spikes, which are necessary for this look. Next up, I know I said I'm not going to be talking about basic products, but I always cleanse my clients before the service. Now, this is a very basic information. You should be cleansing everyone, but the reason why it's important for me to talk about this in particular today is because not only am I going to focus on cleansing the base of the natural lash for good adhesion, good retention, good connection, but also I'm going to cleanse all the way up to my client's eyebrow. The reason why is because I'm lashing in layers. I only want to cover the bottom lash layer for the majority of the set, which means that I need to remove all the oils from her upper lid because I'm gonna be using our standard gel pads in order to pull all extensions and natural lashes up to expose the bottom layer. If there's oils on my client's eyes, forget it. It's not gonna work. You're not gonna have success with that layering technique. All right, now into the lashes. You might be looking at this thinking, whoa, she's mixing a lot of different products together. I am doing that on purpose today because we get reached out to by artists all the time who say that they are using one lash line and they're nervous to switch to another because they feel like they can't blend products together. I blend products, diameters, dimensions, everything together in every set that I do, and I believe it is what makes my sets so customized and so beautiful. So today, I'm working with B Curl 0.07 mix in our ultra dark volume for our spikes. So I'm gonna put some Foreplay on this, and that's what I'm gonna use for the spikes in my look. I'm also working with B 0.07 in our matte collection, and I'm using 5, 6, and 7 in the matte collection. Although I will use a little bit of these in my set, I'm actually going to be using these predominantly for the bottom lashes. 5, 6, and 7 millimeter in B or J curl is what you want to use for your bottom lashes always. And then lastly, the base. That's going to be our clover lashes, and I'm using C 8 to 15. Now, I know I said I'm doing B curl for the set. I'm doing that for the spikes. Our clover lashes are a little bit unique with their curl. So they have more of a flat base, and this is gonna get lost in her lash set. So the base can be a C or B or L or whatever you want it to be, as long as you keep those lengths really, really short. I wouldn't go for curly lashes. I wouldn't use CC or D or anything like that, but you can totally get away with using a C curl or an L curl for this set, as long as you keep your lengths super short. It will blend really nicely. So that's what I'm using lash-wise. And then I'm also gonna use Freshie product. And the reason why I'm using this product for the service is because my client has never had lash extensions before. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm also very sensitive to fumes as well. So I like to absorb as many fumes as I can, take them away from my client, so they're less likely to have a reaction. And also, I don't have to breathe in as many fumes. So that's what Freshie is all about. Open it up, lay it on the side of your client's head. It'll suck the glue fumes away from the client and away from you and into the jar. Glue-wise, I'm working with Quickie Adhesive. Much like when I talked about the Super Bonder, how important it was to have fast curing properties, because my application is going to have to be so precise. Quickie is fast curing, but gives me just enough time to direct the lashes. So it's not gonna prevent me from having good retention, and because the extensions have partially cured before I make a proper connection and direction. So this is an all-around amazing adhesive for artists who are fast, for manga, strip lash, wet lash sets, anything that requires wet lashing. And also for artists who find that they get stickies or they have a fluctuation in their humidities in their room. Quickie is the least temperamental glue I've ever worked with. It works in a super wide range of humidity and temperature. So this is just an all-around really great glue that has lots of flexibility and incredible retention. So that's why I'm choosing that. And then lastly, I have an empty pre-fan tray here. This is just a pre-fan tray that I've had before. You can use a tile, whatever you want to lash from, but I'm just showing you can get thrifty. You don't have to have a professional tile. I'm just going to be using the back of my pre-fan tray today to set up my tile. And then I'm also using our Flexi Hold eye pads for under my client's eyes. These have a really nice amount of stick, a really nice shaping, and they're very thin. So it really helps with isolating really close to the base, which is very important. But I'm not gonna use those for lashing in layers because they're too sticky. So instead, I'm gonna use the standard gel pads for lashing in layers. These are hands down, the best eye pads that you will possibly find for lashing in layers. They're not gonna pull off any lashes, they're not gonna leave residue, they're gonna stick well, just so incredible for that technique. Let's get into the process. So my client has uplifted natural lashes, so she's gonna make a B curl look lifted. It's gonna look more like a C or CC curl because my client has such lifted natural lashes. If that doesn't really line up for you and you're curious why her natural lashes will make a B curl look lifted and more dramatic, comment below. I will happily share other styling tutorials with you in no time. Don't be afraid to reach out. All right, let me draw your attention to the red dots that are on the eyes. Why are these there and what the heck is their purpose? So I always dot my client's eye in some way when I'm lashing. Today, those red dots are representing where I want my main spikes to be. So that's where I'm gonna use the pyramid building technique, which we're gonna get into in just a moment. But basically, to define it, I'm just gonna be utilizing multiple natural lashes to create the illusion of one giant spike. That's what anime sets are all about. The tricky thing about these spikes is that they have to be so pointed. They have to be the spikiest of spikes. They can't be kind of open because it's gonna throw off the look. In order to ensure I not only get that spiky effect, but also keep it throughout the fills, throughout every single service, I need that Foreplay product. It has a moldable and malleable bonding agent in it, so I can brush through the spikes without actually losing the shape. I love that. So let's get into the spike building, which is always step number one. Guys, to be honest with you, it's gonna take me so long to build these spikes, and then the rest of the set's gonna come together. I'm talking like 75% of the service. I'm gonna build these spikes. They're so tedious, but so worth it, and the rest of it is easy peasy lemon squeezy. So what I'm doing is placing my longest length on the top layer. Then I'm going to place my shorter lengths, 2 millimeters shorter, in a pyramid shape just beneath that one long spike. And then from there, I just go to the bottom layer and do the exact same thing with 1 millimeter shorter. It really does look like a pyramid, and that's what's gonna give you that really spiky effect. So for this set, I have about 6 main spikes that I'm building, which are gonna end up looking exactly like this. Isn't it cool how you can see that we really did utilize multiple natural lashes for that one spike? All right, so after this, believe it or not, I'm done. The set is finished. Now I'm moving on to bottom lash extensions. So I didn't even put a base on this set to show you what it looks like, but then in a little bit, I'm actually gonna add a base, so fill in the bottom layer and show you the impacts that that has as well. So this set can now be theoretically completely finished. Lots of anime sets don't even cover one full layer, which is nuts. So just look at how impactful it is. Would you guess that this is not a covered set? No, you just guess that it's more natural. So don't cover all the lashes for animes, guys, but make sure you put bottom lashes on there because it changes everything. Okay, let's add a little more darkness to the set. So what I'm doing is taking those clover lashes and I'm just gonna fill the entire bottom layer only. Please, please, please do not fill any of the middle or top layer or your set is going to look completely off. It's gonna look less anime and more just wispy, which is fine, but it's definitely not the look that we're going for today. So just wait till you see the finished result of this set and how dramatic of a difference it makes just to cover the remainder of the bottom lashes. So even with the bottom layer done, it's really only just above a half lash set, which is so crazy. So as I've told you before, I always like to pull back the lashes to expose the bottom layer. This helps me see just the bottom layer only and make sure that I'm not placing lashes on the middle or the top layer, because if I do that, I'm gonna get wispiness that I don't want. All right, here's the afters of the set. I need you to tell me, which did you like more? Less or more coverage? If you like today's tutorial and you want to learn more from Lost Artistry Lash, please come join us at any of our in-person or online lash trainings. You can find them at lostartistrylash.com. See you in the next one.